I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we GR going for a drive. ...2022 Toyota GR86.
Without launch control, manual transmission. Keep going, keep going. We're on a racetrack today.
Horsepower and torque.
228 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque from a 2.4-liter four-cylinder boxer engine.
And this isn't meant to be lightning fast. It's meant to be a fun track driving car, one of the last manual transmission rear-wheel drive simple cars. And because of that, it's the best.
Yeah, this is a very special car. I think we should honor this moment. Yuri, give me some shifts because we got a manual transmission. And these, they're just becoming so rare these days.
Heel toe downshift.
Oh, the heel toe is amazing on this as well.
And we're at Toronto Motorsport Park, Cayuga, and you'll see the curbs are all Continental curbs now. We got Continental corner all over the place.
Yeah, and they did just cut the grass, so if you guys notice the cones all inside the track, that's what's happening. And it's also a very wet day, so you will see some drifts out of both Yuri and I today.
Still skiddy skids.
Yeah.
And Toyota said if you guys give this video a thumbs up, I can do some donuts. So preemptively, I'm gonna hit him with a few.
For the record, Toyota didn't say that, but Yuri, I'm gonna allow it. You guys gotta drop a like now. At least a like, maybe even a subscribe. That earned it, come on.
That's at least 20,000 thumbs up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, we need 20,000 more.
20,000 more.
You do those donuts, I'll film from the outside for Instagram.
Okay, sounds good. You guys gotta like it for this, come on. And I'm out of here.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right, go pick up Yuri. Okay, so this is now a GR86. It previously was not. So GR is Gazoo Racing, which is Toyota's like fun division now. So that's the GR Supra, the GR86, and potentially the upcoming GR Corolla,
Which is gonna be like the Yaris.
yeah, like all-wheel drive little monster rally car thing, which is everything but confirmed. It's coming.
And even before that, it was an FRS by Scion, which doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly. So this thing has been around for 10 years, and this is the biggest refresh that it's had. Well, it's not a refresh, it's all new.
And the main thing they fixed, I guess, is the torque curve that everyone complained about.
Yeah, so we do have a 2.4-liter engine now. We previously had a 2-liter engine, and it does make a big difference. You can actually see the lack of the torque dip on the gauge, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, it feels super linear, like no issues at all.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's naturally aspirated. This is such a nice powertrain.
Okay, before we get into all the cool driving stuff, which is the best part, I want to talk about the looks, because the looks is the first thing you see when the car shows up.
And since we've been driving this car, this is a prototype, so we need to preface that. This is before a pre-production car, so this is a very early model. So just in case you see some stuff in this video that doesn't match up with later models, because like the gauges, the infotainment, stuff like that. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I've been getting so much attention, we've been getting so much attention driving this thing on the road. It's crazy, everyone stares at this thing.
Hey, the new front end, remember when they teased it and I did that little mock-up? I think it looks pretty good. Like, it's such a nice front end. It's a big open square.
Yeah, very similar to the 400Z from Nissan that's coming out soon. And this thing looks amazing, kind of like a baby F-Type as well.
Yeah, and then our headlights are also pretty awesome. They're just like nice little DRLs. They look simple, but the DRLs don't wrap all around the side.
Yeah, so when the headlights are off, it looks like it's all one thing, but when they're on, it's just like one little part, which I'm okay with. So back to those looks.
And then with our hood, we still have a little bit of fender arches, which is pretty cool. I remember we had that in that first 86 that we reviewed from our buddy Chris.
Yeah, it's nice to actually be able to place your wheels everywhere.
I guess BRZ, kind of same thing.
Yeah, BRZ, BRZ, Chris, 86.
And we were drifting a lot more, by the way, when it was like super wet. Now that it's kind of damp, it really is a lot more difficult to skid. Like, you could still probably put down a pretty quick lap time in this.
So moving around to the side, I do like these wheels. I don't really like that they're black, but it does work for this model.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice launch color and it really balances off the grille, which is black as well.
And it makes it look really aggressive with these wheels.
And then what would be the Continental recommended tire? for the GR86.
The Extreme Contact Sport.
And then from the side, you can also see our side skirts really stick out. It has a lot of nice form to it.
Yeah, and then we also have fender vents, which are real. I can happily report that they are real and they look great.
And then our fender flares and like our hips and everything, it is nice and like formy. It's not like a square boxy car, right?
And I feel like they brought everything kind of up so that it makes it look like it's kind of hunched down. I like the look now.
Yeah, it definitely looks solid, and I'm very excited to see all the body kits and stuff, because all the old BRZs and 86s right now on the streets are all modded and they all look awesome. I love the wide bodies that everyone's doing with them.
Yeah, Liberty Walk, you guys get on your pencils and pens, start working on some stuff, 3D designing everything, get all the 3D body kits ready.
And then moving on to the back end, the first thing you're going to notice is that duckbill spoiler.
Yeah, so we have the premium trim, and that's when you get the duckbill standard.
Then we've got really cool taillights that kind of like swoop in around, almost like NSX style.
And then we have real exhaust. They look amazing.
We should probably listen to it from the
outside. And now let's take a listen to it from the inside. Not the biggest fan. It does sound like it's pumped in, but apparently it's actually like a real pumped in thing where it's like it's taking the intake volume and just pumping it in through here without the speakers.
So it is kind of loud, but we'll give that a pass.
Yeah.
And then our trunk is a trunk. It's not a hatchback. The opening is kind of small, but the back seats do fold down, so I guess you could probably fit a bunch of tires and stuff in the back.
Yeah, it might be a little bit hard to squeeze them in there, but it looks like they would fit.
And then to end off the looks, what's the color of this car?
It's called Track Bread with a capital R. Yeah, that's right. Bread, like you're on a racetrack.
I get the joke.
No, it's great. It's actually a really good color.
It's very fun to slide on the track, but doesn't have as much power as that RCF did. So it's like, you really need to put a lot more.
Oh my God, this guy mentions the RCF.
You need to put a lot more momentum. Oh my God, 2-door Toyotas, whatever.
Bro, V8, 4-cylinder.
Still 2 doors.
Triple the price.
Okay, so the looks of this compared to the last one, the FRS and the last BRZ, do you think it was a solid improvement?
Oh my God, like amazing improvement. I didn't expect so much improvement.
The looks of this compared to the 400Z.
I don't know, I think they're tight. I think they both look really good.
They're good. This is good for being slower than the 400Z will be, but then it'll be modded to a faster speed.
Yeah.
So before you drive, I'm just gonna hit up Cleach Slide corner and then Continental corner, and...
Okay, how's this? Oh, slidey slide.
I do want more power, and I'm very excited for people to start modding these too.
But it is an appropriate amount for someone that's like, you know, buying a first or second car kind of thing. And wants like a rear-wheel drive experience.
And then passing through Continental corner, stop at the Toronto Motorsport Park sign. Now time for you to launch it.
All right, here we go.
It's dried up a bit. Launch control.
Okay, no launch control. Ooh, that was a good one. Ah, this is great, dude. Like the shift lights on this transmission. What a joy to drive this car.
And the gauge cluster and everything. So you are in traction all the way off, and when you're in traction all the way off and traction, it'll put you into a different gauge mode, which goes from left to right instead of a circle.
Yeah, so ripping this thing and seeing that gauge in my peripheral is amazing, because I program my shift lights, boom, flashing yellow, flashing red, I got a shift.
Yeah, it goes nice and bright orange. It's like 10 out of 10 shift light.
I think I just killed a bird.
GoPro will have caught that.
Okay, so let's see what this car can do around here. Downshift heel toe is lovely, and drifty drift a little bit. Oh, it's all gripped, but it's got that nice amount of slide because we do have that limited slip differential, and this is just fantastic. Like it wants to hook up now.
Yeah, exactly. Now that it's dry, it's like the fast slide out controllable, but when it was wet, it was like perfect balance driftable.
Oh, this is so good. Yeah, I'm floored and it won't want to slide now. This is great for grip now.
Yeah, I think this is like the ideal first sports car that every single 20-year-old should buy.
Yes.
And if anybody says, oh, but winter, put some nice Continental winter tires on that, it'll be fine. We grew up with this stuff. There's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly. Like you'll be fine. And you'll be fine in the summer too, and just...
The fact that it's so good in the damp.
This is such a great car to drive. The balance is so good. We have that low center of gravity from the Boxster engine. It's got so much grip. The steering feels incredible.
Okay, explain the Boxster engine for all those people who are buying this as their first car and don't know.
Okay, I'll tone it down a little bit just to explain that. So a Boxster engine is horizontally opposed. So the pistons are going this way and boxing each other. That's where the name comes from.
Wait, did we say Boxer or Boxster?
No, it's Boxster.
Boxer. I think I said Boxster.
Oh, he's wrong.
I got confused with the Porsche stuff.
But there's a funny one because the Boxster has a Boxster engine. Anyways, so a Boxster engine is common to Subarus and Porsches basically now.
Pistons go this way.
Yeah, so that gives you a lower center of gravity because you don't have a V or a straight pattern, which has to go up and down. So you can actually get the engine a little bit lower in the chassis.
Isn't there something about doing donuts and stuff where it like robs the oil from certain sides and they blow up?
Certain Subarus have oil pickup problems on high-speed corners.
Okay.
But that's more to do with the oil pickup tubes. Yeah, that's from my Subaru days. Back to that steering. The steering is very communicative. Like, I know exactly what's happening with the wheels. The amount of input that you give it is so accurate to what the car does.
No weirdness.
No.
And weirdness is in an abundance in 2022, 21.
Yeah, God. Okay, so that back end wants to come out when you like really floor it. But when you're just easing on the throttle and stuff like that, it's so controllable. And okay, let's talk about the 6-speed now. 6-speed is really good. It's very notchy. I'd say one of the notchiest transmissions we've ever used.
And the throws are pretty long.
Yeah, so I would say that's my biggest knock against the transmission is actually how notchy it is for daily driving, but I haven't noticed it being a problem on the track.
Yeah, it's hard to put in words, but when there's nothing wrong with the car, it's amazing, and there's really not much wrong with this at all.
Yeah, there's been so much improved. It feels faster, it feels nimbler, and we already love the previous generation. Like,
where's that torque dip? You feel it at all?
Yeah, no. So if we're in our standard gauges, which aren't our track gauges, like Yuri said before, you can actually see the graph that shows you the torque dip, or lack thereof of the torque dip, which is kind of cool that they actually did that. And since this is a prototype, there's actually going to be 3 gauge modes in the final version, so we only have 2 gauge modes, which is really interesting to see that.
I love driving prototypes and seeing like what goes on here, and it's like actually feels so solid, which is like the coolest part, because the prototype is this good.
Exactly. And if you guys aren't familiar with what a prototype is and a pre-prod, if you watch our Veloster N pre-prod video where it was camoed, that was 1 step beyond this, or maybe even 2 steps beyond this.
Because this doesn't even have a VIN.
Right, exactly, which is cool. Is this our first car that we've driven without a VIN?
Shout out VIN.
Yeah.
But can I just knock a few things that I really hate about this car?
Sorry, okay, I got really excited driving
Dude,
this.
I hate this one thing. The cup holder is back here, and it's hard to get to your cup while driving.
You are correct, but that's like a sports car pass at this point.
I know, that's it. I need you to 3D print me a cup holder up here with your new 3D printer. 3D printer sponsors, hook them up with some more stuff.
Yeah, I just bought my first 3D printer, so apparently now I'm just part of the 3D printer community.
I need stuff printed.
I do want to try it out. Anyways, back to this car. There's also one thing that I hate about it. The turn signals.
The old BMW style where they don't click all the way. It takes some time to get used to.
I mean, it's definitely a nitpick, but I really don't like it.
The last nitpick.
Okay.
To turn traction all the way off, you have to be at a full stop. However, you can toggle your track mode traction while you're driving.
Yes, that's true. So toggling the track mode puts you into track traction. There are no actual drive modes. It's just traction and stability that you're changing.
Yeah, manual transmission doesn't need drive mode because that's your feet and your hands.
Yes, but a lot of like new sports cars have that because like BMWs and stuff. But anyways.
This is like the last of the normal old school style cars, and that's why it's like it must be the last if everyone's like 2030. Well, we gotta go full electric.
And everything's already going turbo that doesn't exist like this, right?
Yeah.
Like the 400Z is a twin turbo, so this is so special. So now to some of the performance aspects that have changed. The 0 to 60 has actually improved by about 1 full second, which is really impressive from generation to generation without adding a turbo. And the peak torque has actually moved down in the curve because in the previous generation it was up near the upper rev range. Now it's very low, so you actually do feel that difference. So I'm gonna feel that difference going into here. I'm at 3,000 RPM and it does feel quicker. Like it's not fast, but it feels quicker.
There's no like absence of power at any point.
Right, and then they also increased the chassis rigidity, but they also kept the weight in check with the previous generation, which is also really impressive considering how many like safety features cars are getting these days.
But this one doesn't really have like lane keep or any of that.
No, exactly.
It's
but
just cool.
safety
You don't need that stuff.
Nah, you really
all you need
don't.
is a seatbelt and an airbag.
This is a driver's car. Oh, you know what else you might need? The visors. Okay, let's see if this is a knock against the car.
3, 2, 1.
Damn it.
Okay, some other things that I really like. The infotainment looks like it's now exactly a Subaru infotainment like the BRZ had. So we have rewinding silent radio, tune mix, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto.
The reverse camera resolution has also been improved.
But this is like a matte screen, which is kind of a Toyota thing to do.
And it's kind of low res overall as well.
Okay, jumping into the interior bit, all this piano black.
Oh yeah, it's reflecting in my eyes.
There's no piano black. It's perfect. We got some nice like soft Alcantara-ish material.
Yeah, because this is the premium trim, so it has been upgraded. We do have Alcantara seats. These seats are very well bolstered. I haven't noticed any issues on the track here.
They're very comfy.
Exactly. This is awesome.
But we can't fit in the back seat, and we never will.
No, we're not even gonna bother trying. And the best part, we also have this big old manual e-brake. I'm not gonna rip it right now, but it's really nice to have it right there.
Do a little one.
This little one.
Drift king right there.
Yeah, front wheel drive drift king.
Rear wheel drive.
I know, but front wheel drive is, that's
Yeah,
what you
but
do.
you do e-brakes too to like start
Yeah,
rear wheel
you
drive
can
stuff.
and stuff when you're drifting.
Not when you have like a stock one.
Exactly.
But like if you want to do cool stuff to like show up in parking lots.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really like is we've got some Alcantara-ish material on top, so we're not going to get reflections while driving, because after driving that C8 Corvette with like a light colored thing,
Yeah.
reflections are such a pain.
Exactly. So this is almost like race car inspired, because a lot of race cars have like a flock dash.
And then we also have heated seats in this car. And then the last cool thing is our temperature stuff down at the bottom. Very easy to use, nice big dials like the last one. Then we got these cool toggle switches. It was cool when you click mode. Look, when you have it on your face, then you can have face and feet small and then face and feet large.
That is very interesting that they did that. That's pretty cool.
Maybe the survey was like, I need a little bit less air on my feet, but I still need a little air.
Yeah. This thing is so much fun to drive. Oh my god. This slightly increased torque has like made a really big difference.
It's such a perfect car.
This is great, dude.
Is that pretty much everything with the new Toyota 86?
Yeah, it is. Shout out Toyota for allowing us to drive this prototype. I think it's time we get to the price.
Let's get to the price.
We don't actually have a price for Canada, but we do have a under $30,000 US starting price.
And then what is the price of the new BRZ?
So the BRZ pricing has actually been released at this time, and the BRZ in US dollars starts at $28,955, and the limited, which might be similar to this one, is $31,455.
So expect to pay 31,000 US for this?
Approximately, probably, maybe even more than that, because I think the Toyota version of the BRZ or BRZ is typically a little bit more.
And I think this is the perfect car for people to get as their first manual transmission car, because if you don't get one now, you may never get one.
Yeah, and parents of younger children, please encourage your automotive enthusiasm by buying one of these for your children instead of like, you know, like a 90s Camry that's automatic.
Or a Corolla.
Yeah,
And
those
then
are both Toyotas, but just get one of these instead.
And then also buy this in the highest trim, because that extra couple $1,000s you're gonna spend is gonna come in so much handier down the line.
I'd be okay with them buying the cheap one.
Just do it.
Yo, the kid's probably gonna back it into a pole.
It's a couple $1,000. Parents have probably made so much money off their house increase.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, you could spare the few thousand.
Yeah, all right. Spoil your children slightly.
And if you're shopping for a new Toyota GR86 and you live in the United States, use the TrueCar link below. There's a discount when using the TheStraightPipes link.
You can also shop for used Toyota 86s using TrueCar. And if you live in Canada, we have a Car Help Canada link below.
So to end off the 86 review,
One drift.
do you think this is a good alternative if you can't afford an M2CS?
100%. Like,
What if you can afford a 400Z?
I haven't driven it, so I can't really speak to it.
But having a little bit extra power in this would be nice.
I appreciate the natural aspiration of this because it's very, very linear, and because, like I said, these things are dying out. So I
And-
feel like this is the time to buy this.
And then this compared to a new BRZ, I would have been all team BRZ because of the infotainment. I like that more than the Toyota stuff. But since this prototype has a Subaru style infotainment, I would be very happy with the 86. And I think that would be a little bit like cooler because there's so many more BRZs out there.
And I think in this generation, the 86 looks better than the BRZ.
Let us know in the comments below. BRZ, 86, M2CS, 400Z, or anything else that's not a cool rear-wheel drive manual car.
Drop a like. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. No thumbs down. Thumbs down bad.